On the issue of truth, that's what we're seeking, at least that should be our goal. And when bad things happen, whether there's an assassination or buildings get knocked down, Congress responds in a political way. Well, we have to find out what's going on, and we're going to have a commission, and we're going to seek the truth. But it seems strange to me, like even on the assassination of Kennedy, it's something like 80% of the American people don't believe what the commission told us. And I've come around to the assumption, whether it's Ruby Ridge or the bombing in Oklahoma or the assassination, that it's mainly designed for covering up rather than getting to the truth. Now, you know, we had this commission that was supposed to tell us the truth. The Congress said, let's have a commission and find out about 9/11, which is very reasonable. We should know. I mean, it was devastating, and what really happened. Now, you know, that's considered taboo if you bring that up. Then you are dismissed because you're a truther. Yeah, like telling the truth is something evil. You're a truther, and they defy. But I understand now with you, with Congressman Lynch from Connecticut, I believe, and a few others are interested in pursuing this. Can you tell me a little bit about that? I think it's Res 428.
Right. I had read a book by Senator Bob Graham, the former senator from Florida who retired a few years ago. He was on the 9/11 Commission, as you remember, as co-chairman. And when they completed the report, he was very concerned that the Bush administration had said that they wanted to classify 28 pages from that report. So I took it upon myself to make a request, which you know you have to do, with the Intel Committee on the House side, to go down and to read the 28 pages. You have to go down into a room that is guarded by uniformed officers, and then also you have a FBI person to sit there as you're in the room. You can't make any notes. The Bush people do not want it released. It's not a national security issue, but it would be embarrassing to the previous administration if this information is open for the public. And we did a press conference. Thomas Massie from Kentucky, Steve Lynch from Massachusetts, and myself did a press conference back in March with the 9/11 families. They have been calling ever since 9/11 for this 28 pages to be declassified. Bob Graham has been calling for these 28 pages to be declassified. I have, along with Steve Lynch, written a letter to the President of the United States, who twice said to the families of the 9/11 families, I will declassify this information. The American people have the right to know the truth and to know the relationship with the Saudis at the time of the Bush administration.
Does this have to be signed by the president? He has to go to the Senate and then have the president sign before it becomes law?
No. Ron, actually what we're trying to do, we've got about 9 or 10 Democrats and Republicans on the H Resolution 428. We're hoping that a senator, I've reached out to your son on this issue, as a matter of fact, personally, and asked him to look at this. I've spoken to Senator Carper, Democrat from Delaware, to look at this. I've spoken to Senator Rubio. I've reached out to their offices, asking them to please read the classified information and to put a Senate resolution in to build support for this nationally. And I hope many of the people watching your show today or tomorrow will reach out to their senator and their congressperson and tell them to declassify the 28 pages. The 9/11 families have a right to know what's in those 28 pages, and so do the American people.
I've always assumed as well that these commissions are designed to protect the government officials more than anything. Not to actually hide everything, but protect the people. And then the Democrats protect Republicans, vice versa, and that proves or supports our point that there's not a whole lot of difference. But, you know, we have something similar going on with the CIA report right now. They want to redact a lot of important material. And the reason there, they said, is, well, if we know the truth about torture, it's going to make some people angry. Well, why wouldn't it make us angry if we don't know the truth? And this is their reason for doing this, and also that it would expose some individuals, that might have been involved. Well, what is so bad about this? Do you think that is part of it, to protect the government agents, and no matter what?
On the 9/11 issue that we were just speaking about, to me, that there will be no hope for America's future if the American people don't know the truth about a tragedy such as 9/11 or one of the assassinations. And these people that try to always, I mean, Senator Bob Graham has been to the federal courts in Florida trying to get this information declassified. Actually, Lee Hamilton, who was on the 9/11 Commission, Democrat, and Tom Kean, former governor of New Jersey, on the 9/11 Commission 2 weeks ago, were in the press saying we need to declassify the 28 pages. I don't know why we're going to keep putting pressure on President Obama. I don't know why he does not. I don't know what kind of arrangement he has with former President George Bush, but the Bush administration, I have an article that was 2003, CBS National News, saying that George Bush said, no, we don't want to release the 28 pages. I know why.
Walter, this is great that you're doing this. I hope we hear more about it. There's a couple questions I would like to ask, but I'm afraid it might step over your obligation to not mention what you read. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to tell us everything that you know about it, but keep fighting this, because I think it's so important. But what else is going on right now in the Congress? We're in recess now. There's nothing going on. But what can you expect to happen before the election? I remember under those circumstances, not much is going to happen.
Well, Ron, you're right. I will tell you that I've been working with some of your old friends on the Democratic Party when it comes to war, like Jim McGovern and Barbara Lee. Trying to make sure that the president does not commit combat troops to Iraq. We have no more business being in Iraq, just like we had no business going into Iraq in 2003, which you understood at the time you were in the House of Representatives. Our military is worn out. Ron, 5 weeks ago, I went to Walter Reed Hospital to visit 2 Marines from Camp Lejeune, which is in my district. You said that just a few minutes ago. I had heard they'd been severely injured. I go over to Walter Reed, which is now in Bethesda, Maryland. I happen to go in the area where they teach them how to walk with prostheses and how to do things with parts body parts that they've lost with artificials, replacements. And I can honestly tell you, I met